Hello Capricorn, I'm Ulrich, I'm a Lenormand card reader, but this time we will use a financial deck for your card reading. The card contains 44, the deck contains 44 cards and the laying is done with 3 cards, as you can see here in front of me. You can also see 4 objects here on the table, meaning we will do 4 card readings for each astrological sign for the month of September, and this video here is for the sign of Capricorn. Now, from the 4 objects that you see here, you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current financial situation or the advice that you are receiving from the cards regarding that financial situation. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos related to the Capricorn sign, and after you watched all 4 videos, then you can decide which object or symbol is fitting your personal card reading the best. The matches here represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Capricorn, here we go for your card reading for September 2021. Hello Capricorn and welcome to the shell or the water group for September 2021. As you can see, the 3 cards are in front of me, but before I start, I first want to mention that starting 27 September, Mercury is running retrograde, meaning it's best not to sign contracts, agreements, things that you are contractually obligated are gonna do, because mostly afterwards there might problems appear. So it's best not to sign contracts, agreements after 27 of September. You will also see the news that we see in the media. Sometimes it's like compromised, or if we wait for something from the post or from the mail, or we deplace ourselves, sometimes we are delayed. It's because of our mind at that time is working a little bit slower. This is a period for 3 weeks, but in my video for next month, I will mention the exact date when it's happening, when it's finished. So this is a reminder, don't sign any contract or try to avoid signing contracts after 27 of September. So coming back to the reading here, the first card we see here is the card about heritage. What does this card mean? Well, it means, in general, it means this card that it's best not to rely on others for funds. What does this mean? Well, maybe this card is like, it's asking you if you are like the type that are not thinking about the future on the long run, meaning if you don't see the importance of accumulating savings. That is what this card is about. If you have no savings, some people are waiting for others to help them. And this card asks you if you are waiting on others to help you. There's a lot of people who can help us, a brother, a sister, or maybe you're waiting here literally on an inheritance. But this card asks you not to be fooled, and it asks you to rely on yourself. It's a little bit like this card tells you, like, utopian and also dangerous to rely on parents' inheritance purely to finance yourself, for instance, for your old age. Except, of course, if these people are already very unfit, but even then, you didn't read their will, and you don't know if you're even their sole heir. It's only when they are passed away, when their last breath is gone, that you are sure that everything comes to you. This is if the lawyer or the notary, he reads the will to you, and then you are sure about that this really comes to you. Then also, we have also the life expectancy of people. It's exploded over the years. People are getting older. So your parents will most likely live much longer than their ancestors. And as they get older, they may gradually need more money, and they will use their savings. Maybe they sell their house for using their savings for the services suited for their survival conditions, which is normal. No one can blame them because they work for it. Secondly, each individual has the right to change their testamentary. They can do at any time they want. So who knows if your mother or father will not succumb to the young Venus or Cupid living next door, or they met somebody on the internet and they will not decide to favor that person, him or her, at the expense of the descendants. You never know. An inheritance can be part of a retirement plan or analysis, but you cannot depend solely on them. Adding to that, with medical advancement, coming back to that, you could find yourself with a living parent at the age in the 80s. So this card asks you to plan your old days wisely, independently from others, from parents, from people who you rely on for money. If you do so, you will come out as a winner. So this card tells you to rely on yourself. The second card here is the card of acceptance. This card means actually not more, but better. So some people are always on the outlook for better living conditions, and nobody can blame us that we want to live better. But even if we get a promotion and we get more money, you must accept your situation for what it is today and where you are right now. Meaning, the best way to improve yourself is that you have a sound financial management. It's imperative now, this card says, and it's the middle card, that you do so. You need to learn comfortable with the means that you are at your disposal, that you have right now. Don't focus on increasing of salary, just focus on what you have now and use the money that you have now in a different way. Meaning, if you want to buy goods for housekeeping, a microwave or whatever is needed, or a laundry machine, you should consider, for instance, going to the second-hand store. Some things there are still in the package. Sometimes even the warranty is with them. Also, you can find a lot of stuff in second-hand sites, barely used, practically new, sometimes with the warranty. So this is a card like that. It tells you to budget in a different way. Use your money in a better way. With the same budget, it wants you to achieve more by buying goods that are used or things that cost less money, but with an extended warranty. This card don't want to compromise you also, because it shows the stones. It wants you to give you a secure future, but it wants to use you to use your money in a different way, to be smart with your money. Don't focus on raise, don't focus on more money, focus on what you have. This is what this card tells you. Also, it wants you that money is not necessarily associated with happiness. If it would be so, why are so many of the hyper or super rich very unhappy? They are depressed sometimes. Why is that? Because they didn't find their true path in life, and their money don't make them happy. Some of them you can find in ashrams, and they have an existence very poor. So money don't make happy. This is what this card tells you also. Here, this card tells you you need to manage your income. You need to balance between your income and your expenses. So whatever your income or savings might be, it's your actions who determine where you are and where you will be in the future. So improve your daily life by spending within your means. Live with less, but better. This is what this card tells you. Then we have the last card here. This is the card of overconsumption. What does this mean? We live in a world of overconsumption. Everything is for sale. We can buy everything online. We go outside and everything is available. So we are daily confronted with advertisement. So sometimes our definition of necessary good is blurred. It's like we are in some kind of a fog. We cannot see clearly anymore what is basic for us. We forget that we can live simple with a bread, with some rice, with some potatoes. We are so used of over consuming that we think it is who we are. And this card wants you to reflect over that. You need to see the difference between the essentials, the obligations, and the things that are really not necessary. It wants to that you recognize your basic goods. Of course, our necessities are changed. Today, basic necessities include a smartphone or a cell phone or internet. We cannot live without them anymore because society has changed. But I'm sure you can manage some things that you are that you don't need. We are advanced, but some things we can get rid of. And this card asks you, with all these goods that you have more now and that cost you a lot of money, does it make you more happier than generations before us? You need to reflect over that answer. Maybe sometimes it's a drug. Overconsumption is like a drug. This card wants you to get with your feet on the ground. It wants you to accept. It wants you to realize where you are. Be self-reliant. That's the whole concept here that I'm seeing. So, continuing, you need to hear with this card to determine what your minimum needs are. And if you do so, if you minimize your expenses, you will be able to make some savings. Also, you will become aware of the essentials and the non-essentials. And this card asks you to ask yourself the question, would your daily life be worse without gadgets that you buy? Probably would be worse if you have no bread or you have no rice or you have no potatoes, then it would be worse. But the gadgets, do you really need them? This is what this card asks you. So this card asks you to live more according to your needs, to your basic needs, not what the society tells us, not what you see in publicity, not what your neighbor has. Just focus on your own wallet and your mind will be better off. This is what this card tells you. So, Capricorn, for the shell or the water group, this is all for this month. If you enjoy this card reading, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading is not relating in any way to you, there are 3 other readings following here, so you can check those. Anyway, I thank you for watching my video and see you maybe next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to the Aerosol or the air group for the financial card reading for September. Excuse me. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27th of September, Mercury is starting to going retrograde, meaning it's not a good time for signing contracts, agreements, anything that you sign, it's not good to do so. This is for a period of 3 weeks until 18th of October. So if you can avoid for signing contracts from 27 until 18 October, please do so, because mostly if you sign contracts or agreements during these dates, it's a problem. If you are obligated for some reason to sign the contract or the agreement, please double, triple check everything in the contract, because mostly this leads to problems. You will also see that your mail is coming later, your mail with the post. In that time, our brain is working a little bit slower. Also, if we go somewhere, we have delays or we are more in traffic jams, that's all connected. But the most important there from that feature is that we don't or we avoid to sign contracts during that period. Coming back here to the reading now, the first card you see here is the card of accomplishment, achievements. So what does this card mean? Well, probably you've done some efforts in the future and you're starting to see results of your efforts. It's through small actions that sometimes we move on. And that we see certain changes. It's like with small victories that we have in life, that we slowly proceed and we accomplish our goals. So also this card tells you not to compare yourself with other people. Just stick to your own plan, stick to your own achievements. Don't compare yourself with other people in the society. Just look at yourself and see where you are and know where you are going. This is what this card tells you. Check out your long-term plans. Check out what you can change. Also see how you already have improved in the last months and weeks. Check out also what you think could be changed so you can improve more, what you need to modify or for your life to be better for you. Also, it tells you if you would be in a difficult financial period, not to be discouraged. It's your own path and we all have our problems. Write down what you achieved so far. Maybe you come out of a very, very difficult situation and now you're better off already. Just look at your situation, how you were before and where you are now. There are no small or big successes in life. It's more like an amalgamation of everything, like and all these things together, they can make a big difference in your own eyes. So appreciate the progress that you made so far and continue with it. Keep persevering. Then the next card is about our behavior for buying goods. What does this mean? Well, if you have this card, probably you're very sensitive for discounts if you go out for buying things. If you are a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Some people of us are sensitive for buying with discounts. But this card tells you to check out if you buy something in discount, to check the article if it's really discounted. It's not because they mention a discount of 60% that is the real value of the discount. You need to check everything very thorough and if this is the real discount. You also need to understand that every time you buy an article on a discount price, you need to be sure you have a good deal. This is what it says here. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't be bewitched by sales. Just keep cool and don't interact with those discounts. Even if the price is reasonable, the question that you need to ask yourself, do you really need this thing? Just try to avoid to look for discount. Maybe because you always look for discount, you spend more than you anticipated, and then you come with the question, is it really necessary? So also, it's possible also, this card sometimes also refers to people who buy in bulk. But bulk buying is nice and it's all good, but you need to see that you don't catch yourself then at the end of the month that you give the articles away to a neighbor, to your sister, and then the question is, did you really have a discount? Probably not. So, or it's no use if you buy something in a discount and at the end of the month, you bring to the recycle center. This is what this card says. So don't overflow your house with things that you don't really need. Don't accumulate things, just buy what you need. So ignore the discounts, don't buy things you don't need. This is what this card tells you. So keep your achievements as they are. And if you want to improve more, just ignore discounts and things that you don't need. The second card, the last card that we have here, it's a repayment of debts. Why would you have this card? Well, probably there's something wrong with settlements of money. And maybe you have accumulated some debts that you have. So this card, if you have if this applies on you, this card asks you to develop a repayment strategy. Also, as the other card, it tells you if you have, don't be discouraged. If you start a plan, it will work out. It's by small amounts paying back, small steps that you get there. So don't give up before you start. Don't make more debts, just focus. Here, this card tells us to make a list of priorities of your loans, and also write down if you have rates on credit cards, check what rates these credit cards have, because there's a lot of difference between credit cards. You need to check that also the most expensive credit cards you need to pay back first if you have several. Then you need to establish also priorities. You must see that you if you want to repay your debts, that you have a minimum required, of course, for your regular bills. That's essential, because else we cannot eat anymore and we cannot pay our rent anymore. So then you administer from the money that you have left on the accounts with the highest interest, because you need to get rid of those first. Credit cards that are very lenient and with very easy to give you money or to withdraw money, mostly these cards have very high rates. You need to get rid of those because those cost you money. If you buy an article, you don't pay the article anymore, you pay the interest in the bank, and they are very happy that you are their customers because you pay so much. So the more cash you put in these expensive accounts, in these expensive cards, the less the interests will become. That is your first plan. That's what you need to do first. You need to get rid of these cards. So also, when you're in debt mode, you need to stop spending things that you don't need. You see here, you have the discount. You need to stop buying in bulk, buying things that you don't need. That is also part of your plan. This is what I'm reading here in the cards. This is what the cards saying here. So you need to pull yourself together. When you have reduced these debts, you will be able to restore your lifestyle to a less restrictive lifestyle. So don't wait any longer, balance yourself, fall back on your feet so you can move on if you have. So Capricorn, this is all for the month of September, for your card reading, for the air group. If this reading don't fit you, please check out the other 3 card readings also here in the video. Maybe those fit you better. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like my card readings, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so, and see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for the reading for this month, September 2021. Before we start, I first want to mention that starting 27 September until 18 October, Mercury is running retrograde, meaning it's best not to sign contracts during those periods for 3 weeks, because mostly if we do sign a contract in these periods, it causes problems, meaning something is not right with the contract. We will not able to fulfill the contract. The contract is unsatisfying. All things related to the contract are not in the hook. So it's best during this period you try to avoid this. If you are obligated for some reason to sign a contract, just read the fine print thorough and 3 times, read the contract 3 times before you sign, just to make sure that you are safe. Also, you will see there are some delays with traffic. The news, sometimes it's not correct that we are receiving on the TV. There are some delays. But the most important thing of that is that we try to avoid sign contracts, agreements, or anything that you need to sign during that period. So we are proceeding here now with the cards itself. So the first card you see here it's like a repayment of debts. So what does that mean? Probably according to these cards, you have gathered some debts, and these debts need to be repaid. So this card asks you to make a balance, and you take a balance sheet and check out what are exactly your accumulated debts, and you need to take care of them. So you need to, this card asks you to develop a strategy and a repayment strategy. So also this card tells you not to be discouraged. You need to start with this. It's with small amounts that we pay back that you will get there. So don't give up the game before you start it. This card tells you to keep courage if you are in a financial difficult situation. Secondly, list your loans, write down the respective rates. And then third, establish your priorities, because you must preview a minimum for your survival, like for your food, for your rent, for the basics that we have. So this is what this card tells. If you have done all these 3 things, then what you need to first check out is the cards, the credit cards that you have. I assume you have more than one. The card with the highest rates, you need to get rid of them. Mostly that are the cards that are easy to give you money. Why? Because these cards have a very they are very lenient to give you money, but the other side is that they charge you very high interests, meaning if you buy something, you probably pay very high interests. You need to check on your balance sheet of the bank what you pay in a month, because if you don't pay by the end of the month, they charge you interest. The cards with the highest interests you need to take care of first. You need to get rid of them. Don't use them, and put balance on there so you can balance them out on zero. That is your first priority that you need to do. And of course, not using them also if you are able to. So the more cash you put in these expensive interest accounts, the less credit charges you will pay, and the more you will approve, and then you can add more capital if you have more than one card. Finally, if you would be in that mode, it tells you also to stop spending money and take charge of your financial situation. You need to pull yourself together. Once you reduce the debts, you will be able to restore a less restrictive lifestyle. Here, this is superfluous. I'm assuming this is connected to things that you bought before. This card is like unnecessary expenses we made. I'm assuming you made some unnecessary expenses before, because else this card would not be here. So this card asks you to avoid unnecessary expenses. You need to let your money regenerate its real value. It's not the time now, if you are already in debt mode on your credit cards, to make additional costs. It asks you to remember all the expenses that you made on these cards and what that you exactly use them. It asks you, here you are your credit cards, and here it asks you to put everything on the table and check what you have spent it on. It wants you to make an evaluation, because maybe you already have forgotten some things, and it wants you to remind on what exactly did you spend it. Maybe you get angry on yourself if you see on what exactly did you spend. Maybe it's like small incidental costs, but would you have been able to avoid them? So by limiting these extra expenses, in the long run, you can balance out your credit cards here. You will take an important step forward if you are wise with your money. The last card, the card is actually nice in the row here. It tells you need to be creative with your money. What does that mean? Well, if you are in a difficult financial situation, we need to use the money that we have available in the best possible way, and we need to be creative with our money. So it asks us to use your imagination and try to avoid expenses. So if you, for instance, need to buy a small present for somebody, instead of buying and shopping for reductions, you can make something maybe yourself with recycled materials, instead of spending a small fortune for buying a dream present. For instance, if your son or daughter's birthday is coming up and you're in a financial difficult situation, maybe you can bake the cakes yourself. Maybe you can be inventive yourself and organize the party at home without going out and spending big amounts of money. You could prepare a party at home, and even there, it could be very nice, and you don't have the high bills then, or the astronomical bill that comes with it. So you need to start thinking out of the box. That's why the light is here. And ask yourself about the real needs. Of course, we cannot let the birthday pass or from the son of the daughter or people that we love, but we can adjust our financial situation. That we can do. So this is what this card asks you to adjust to your financial situation that you are momentarily in. So it asks you, for instance, to be creative in the kitchen, cook for yourself, don't go out, make things, small things, adjust your budget. This is what this card tells you. So Capricorn, for the Stone group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check out the 3 other readings. One of them will fit you shortly. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next time. Bye bye for now. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to the Fire or the Matches group for the month of September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that Mercury is gonna go retrograde starting 27th of September, meaning it's a better time then from 27 up to 18 October to avoid signing any form of contracts. Why? Because mostly we later on want to get rid of the contract don't fit us, there's something wrong with the contract, we didn't read the fine print well. So you need to be very careful with signing these contracts during this time. So if you can do so, please sign them before 27 or after 18th of September. Also, you will notice that the news that we are receiving in the media sometimes is incorrect. The trains are delayed, we get the mail late, we get some packages late. It's all connected to the Mercury retrograde. Our brain is working a little bit slower. But the most important thing here, and that could save you a lot of worries and maybe also money, is try to avoid to sign contract between those periods 27 and 18 of October. So we are going here now with the card reading. The first card here is the card of accepting. This is the card that means not more but better. What does this mean? Well, probably you are ambitious in your life and you want to improve of your life as you have the right to and as you should. But this card is the card of the buts. This card tells you maybe it's not the good time to do so now. You can be ambitious and you can want to move on, but this card asks you if you are in certain financial situation, would this really solve your problem? Sometimes if we earn more, we tend to spend more. This is what this card is about. So this card asks you to accept your situation for what it is today. So you need to realize that it's better to manage your finances, and it's imperative, but not by increasing your income. I don't say you cannot be ambitious, but you need to learn to live comfortably with the means that you have. That is what this card is about. If you do so, you will stay, if you balance yourself more, you will stay away from financial troubles. Also, for instance, this card tells us if we need to buy some, like for instance, a new laundry machine or a microwave or whatever we need to buy, you start maybe to think in a different way. For instance, there's a lot of stuff online for sale, or you can go to the second-hand store. There are second-hand sites online, or there are second-hand stores. Sometimes these things are even packed. Sometimes the warranty is included with them. So sometimes you can save 40–50% with that. So this card wants you to think about that, like you re-budget. For instance, if you need to make a big expense, you need to buy a bike car. Why not buy a young second-hand car where you have a discount 20–30% and sometimes even the same warranties? So this is what this card tells you. It wants you to use your money in a different way. It don't ask you to change your lifestyle. It asks you to use your money in a smart way and buy the same products but on a lower price with an extended warranty. This is what this card is about. So instead of trying to focus on more earning, it tells you to improve your lifestyle by using your money in a different way. So this card tells you whatever your savings or income may be, it's your actions that determine where you are. Also, I want to add to this, even people who are very rich, it don't necessarily make them happy. There's a lot of people who are very wealthy who are very, very depressed. So as you know, money doesn't make happy. So this card tells you to use your money in a wise way. The second card we have here is a little bit connected to it. And it tells you if you make these savings, maybe you can put them in an automatic savings account. You see here there's like wheels, the wheels of a machine. So it tells you to save your money automatically. What does this mean? Well, it's actually a very simple concept. The simplest way actually to save money is to organize systematic savings. So you first calculate an amount that you monthly can miss, that you have, that you maybe normally spend, but instead of spending it, you put it in your, on a recurring basis, in your savings account. So it goes automatically from your regular account in your savings account. You will see, if you do so in a short period of time, in a few months' time, because else this card would not be here, that you will generate serious amounts of money in 6 months. And you could use these amounts for something that you really need. For instance, something that you wanted or something that you can focus on. What you can do also on the long run is make more savings, and maybe you can use those savings for making adjustments in your house. Or maybe you need the new car next year. So this is what this card tells you. If you are not in the need of that, and then you can save it, and maybe you can start a portfolio. Maybe you can invest your money in something that you are interested in. You can invest it in gold, you can invest it in the stock market, in things that are stable. This is what this card tells you. It tells you to save on a regular basis. So with doing so and saving regular amounts of money, you will accumulate. If this card would not be here, else you will be able to accumulate serious amounts of money. You will progress yourselves if you do so. It's like a virtuous circle to improve your own security and stability. And I think this card next to it, because these are two positive cards, is a warning for the future. Probably you have some birthdays coming up or some festivities, and this card wants to warn you for that, for keeping your budget in balance. What does this card tell us? Well, if we have birthdays coming up or celebrations coming up, we tend to spend more than we do. For instance, Christmas is no longer spiritual festivity. We already long forgotten what the spirit of Christmas is about, and it became like it changed from a sacred holiday into a festivity of abundance. Also, sometimes if we have birthday, we have no longer limitations. The question is, will your son, daughter, or your wife love you less if you give them a present that is less expensive? Probably the answer is already on your lips. The answer is no. So this card warns you to budget, and instead of spending money on expensive gifts, put it in your savings account and budget your things. This card wants to protect you for things that you want to spend in the future. It looks in the future, this card. So it also, if you spend, it wants to let you think how you spend. The people around you will not love you any less if you buy them a present that costs less. Also, if you, for instance, with festivities like Easter or Christmas, we already forgotten what it's about. So maybe we should reflect on that. What does it really mean? Because it's not about abundance, it's about spirituality. But anyway, this card, it wants to make you realize, and it wants to protect you, not overspend. This is what this card is about. So the next time some birthday or some festivities coming up, just be wise and use what this card tells you, and put the money in your savings account. Set your priorities in your savings, in your advancement. This is what this card is about. So Capricorn, for the fire group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 4 videos related to the Capricorn sign. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Take care.